Hello everyone. Now we are going for the next point, that is seepage. So here is what is the meaning of seepage. Flow of water through soil is called seepage. Seepage takes place when there is a difference in water levels on two sides of the structure, such as a dam or a sheet pile shown in the figure. Whenever there is a seepage, for example, beneath a concrete dam or a sheet pile, it is often necessary to estimate the quantity of the seepage, and permeability becomes the main parameter here. So there are two diagrams showing for the dam and for the sheet pile, and seepage is shown through the that arrow from soil. So let's have a look at the concrete dam and sheet pile in figure, where seepage takes place through the subsoil due to head difference between upstream and downstream water levels. Here, if we know the permeability of soil, how do we compute the discharge through the soil? How do we compute the pore water pressure at various locations in the flow region, or assess the uplift loading on the bottom of the concrete dam? Is there any problems with hydraulic gradient being too high within the soil? To address all this, let's look at some fundamentals flow. This is a flow net diagram for the impervious strata of soil. Here is showing the high level at the upstream side and datum line at the downstream side. Okay, so from this, in the flow beneath the concrete dam shown in figure, we all assume that the concrete dam is impervious and an impervious stratum such as bedrock or stiff clay underlies the soil. Let's select the datum as a downstream water level. That makes the total head within the downstream and upstream water 0 and H respectively. There is a total head loss of H along each streamline, originating upstream and ending up downstream. This loss in head or energy is used against overcoming the resistance to flow provided by the soil. Here, streamline or flow line is the path of water molecule in the flow region. There are thousands of streamlines in the flow region. The flow passage between two adjacent streamlines is known as flow channel. In a flow net, we only draw streamlines such that the discharge is the same, that is dq, through the each of the flow channel. Let's say there are capital N flow channels in the flow net. An equipotential line is contour of constant total head. The blue lines shown in the figure are all equipotential lines where the total head is constant along each of them. In the flow net, such as one shown in figure, the equipotential lines are drawn such that the total head difference between two adjacent ones is same, that is dH, throughout the flow region. If there are n equipotential drops in flow net, then dH is equal to H divided by n. In figure, dH is equal to 0.2 H. Um, n and n do not have to be integers. In figure, they are 3 and 5 respectively. The discharge through the soil per unit thickness perpendicular to the paper can be given by Q is equal to KHL into NF divided by ND. The flow net I have drawn above quite poor. You can see much better quality flow nets in textbook. From the flow net, total head at any point can be computed. Okay, so we'll go for the next example, that is flow takes place through a 100 diameter and 275 long soil sample from top to bottom as shown in the figure. The manometers are 120 apart and the water level difference within the two manometers is 100 at steady state. If permeability, if permeability of the soil is 3.7 into 10 raised to power 4 centimeter per second, what is the flow rate? We have to calculate the flow rate. So here is showing flow and the difference is 100 and 120 mm. So solution, hydraulic gradient across the soil specimen, we have to find out the difference. So 100 divided by 120 will give the 0.8 833. So velocity of flow, that is k into I, 3.7 into 10 raised to power minus 4 into 0.833. So we have velocity of flow is 3.082 into 10 raised to power minus 4 centimeter per second. So cross sectional area of the specimen is given, that is 78.54 centimeter square. Then flow rate is there. So flow rate is velocity into cross sectional area. So velocity is as we calculated 3.082 into 10 raised to power minus 4, and the cross sectional area is 78.54 centimeter square. So we get the flow rate, that is 0.0242 centimeter cube per second, or 1.45 centimeter cube per minute. Now we are going for the next example. Second example, a longitudinal horizontal drain at 3-meter depth collects the groundwater in the low lying area. The free water table coincides with the ground level, and flow net for the groundwater flow is shown in the figure. The 6 mm thick sandy clay bed is underlain by an impervious stratum. Permeability of the sandy clay is 6.2 into 10 to the power minus 5 centimeter per second. So here is a flow net is given for the impervious stratum and free water table at a surface at the depth 3 meter, and total depth is given, that is 6 meter. So here we are having height from the drain, that is 3 meter, and 6 meter, that is small h and capital H. So we are going, what we have to calculate. Okay, so we have to calculate, first one is the find the discharge through the drain in meter cube per day per meter length of drain. Then second is the find the pore water pressure at x 1.5 meter into the soil directly above the drain, and third one is the estimate the velocity of flow at a x. So we have a solution, that is, let's take a datum at the drain level. This makes the total head at the top of the ground and water table at the surface, that is 3 meter. Head loss from the surface to drain is 3 meter. Let's assume water is at atmospheric pressure in the drain and at the surface, that is ground level. So what we have to find is, first find the discharge through the drain in meter cube per day per meter length of drain. So consider only half of the flow region. So HL is equal to 3 meter, NF is equal to 6, and ND is equal to 9. So we have a formula, that is Q is equal to K HL NF divided by ND. Then we have all the values. We putting these values in this formula, we'll get uh, that is discharge is equal to 0.214 meter cube per day per meter. Okay, so next is the second, that is change in total head between two equipotential draws, that is delta H. Then we have the values, that is small h and capital H. So small h divided by capital H will give the delta H, that is 0.33 meter. So total head at x is equal to 3 minus calculated, that is 3.4 delta H will give the total head value at x is 1.867 meter. Now elevation head at x is equal to 1.5 meter, and pressure head at x is equal to difference of this total head and elevation head. So total head we have 1.867, and elevation head is 1.5 meter. So subtracting this 1.867 minus 1.5 will get the pressure head at x, that is 0.367 meter. But for a pore water pressure at a x, uh, that is pressure head into 9.81, so 0.367 into 9.81 will get the pore water pressure, that is 3.60 kPa. Now last one is, we have to calculate the vertical length of the curvilinear square at x is measured as 0.4 meter. but hydraulic gradient at x is equal to 0.33 divided by 0.4. 0.33 is nothing but a delta H, that is the change in total head between the two equipotential drops, and divided by 0.4 is a vertical length of curvilinear square at measured distance 0.4. So 0.33 divided by 0.4 will give the hydraulic gradient at x, and the value is 0.83. And last one is we have to calculate velocity. As we know, velocity is equal to k into I. So k is as we know 6.2 into 10 raised to power minus 5, and I as we calculated, that is hydraulic gradient 0.83. So we get the velocity, that is ki is equal to 5.15 into 10 raised to power minus 5 centimeter per second. So here is the seepage. Thank you everyone.